To comment during the Frankly Speaking show, you first need to open the video that is being streamed live. Look for the chat box on the side or bottom of the video player. This is where you can type your message. Click inside the chat box and use your keyboard to type out what you want to say. You can type words, use emojis, or even ask questions. Once you've typed your message, press the Enter key on your keyboard or click the Send button. Your comment will then appear in the chat for everyone watching the live stream to see. If you want to send another comment, just type it in the chat box again and press Enter or Send. Your new comment will show up below your previous one.
Muted Franklin.
Mike, I'm going to step in.
Not hearing Franklin.
Mike is muted. So until Mr. Mac realized, good.
Negril, the capital of cool. Or so they say. Good day. Thank you for joining us for the 129th episode of the Frankly Speaking Jamaica Podcast. Please share, and if you have not done so yet, please subscribe right now. We'd like to get your comments for the show, so send them to us. Negril, the capital of cool. This week, for example, and next week, parties will burst out all over Negril. And maybe people who don't know the town, some people don't even want it to call it town, but maybe people who don't know the place won't even notice that the place is swimming in problems. Yet the capital of cool, Negril, certainly rivals Ochi as the party central for Jamaica. Negril has an allure that just hard to match. It's beautiful, stunning, and it's cool. But Negril has its own problems. Good day. Desmond Richards and Mary White, our regular presenters, are part of our panel today. Winnie Anderson Brown is still on a break. Our special guest is Lenbert Williams. Some people call him Mr. Negril. He's a businessman, a passionate Negril advocate, community activist, and unofficial mayor of Negril. Speaking of which, speaking of mayor, the Prime Minister recently floated the idea of Negril becoming a city or a municipality or even a parish, whatever. That's suggested to help organize and bring order and development to the place. Welcome, Lenbert, and good to have you. So enough of my chatting. Let's just start with Negril. Tell us, Lenbert Williams, what's the situation with electricity post-burial around Negril, and then tell us a little bit about your more enduring problem, water. Over to you, Lenbert.
Well, Negril is business. We have at least 90% recovered burial. It is to say about 98% of all GPS customers have been reconnected. But there is a recurring decimal. Every time we have like a hurricane or storm surges where a lot of salt is in the atmosphere, the electricity is disrupted. And we are appealing to JPS and the government to look at the possibility of bringing our electricity on ground. We cannot endure this any longer, and we are in an hurricane belt. So this won't be the last, and with climate change, then very likely we're going to be having them more frequently. So I don't need to impress upon the Jamaica Public Service Company Limited how important it is not only to have this stuff piped, but to also have their standby people. And I don't understand why the government never bring out the military engineering corps to assist with JPS, because they were woefully inadequate in terms of manpower and personnel in restoring electricity, not just to Negril, but to the entire country. Now, you had said water. Water is fair, it's okay, but it's not at its best. At the moment, the pressure is about 50% of what we are used to. And I've spoken to the people from National Water Commission, and they said they still have some leaks working on. As you know, 70% of pipe water in Anu and Westmoreland is to leak. So we're also saying to the government, why don't you bring in an additional leak detection unit from abroad who have sophisticated detection equipment and personnel to find the leaks? Because if you find at least half of these leaks, then half of our problem would be solved. Now, outside of that, no, you have 100 truck men in the area, and every night them go to their bed, pray that rain fall. And if you understand the science of probability and actuarial science, then you don't have to really see a man in the act, but you know that this possibility really exists, where these truckmen are going to bribe the NWC staffs, and they're going to do everything in their power to cause disruption. Because when they have a disruption in the water flow, they can easily sell $10 to $15 million worth of water every day. No, this is a serious problem, and it's like a millstone around normal water flow to my community. And I'm appealing to the minister and to the prime minister that they must start policing water, because when the dry seasons are around, like in the winter season, when we have reduced rainfall, these truckmen are the new government for Negril. They will be the new government for Negril, and water will be the currency, because these guys will do everything. And look, recently, you know, we have two light poles not known in the Lagood area by two trucks. And what are the odds that the only two light poles that I know get done by truck for the past 20 years are two of the light posts that support the electricity to Lagood? This is unheard of. Coincidence don't happen like this. And now the government recently buy a generator. So in the event of electrical loss, they would use the standby generator to supplement the current and keep the phones running. And 2 days before burial struck, the pumps miraculously.
Lenbert, we're going to have to jump in on you because you've raised a lot of issues there. You have raised a lot, and I'm sure my colleagues also want to come in. Desmond, maybe you want to go first.
Desmond.
I don't know what's happening to our sound, but Lenbert, one of the issues I really want to find out from you, why is it that Negril, which is contributing so much to the coffers of the country. Why is it that the business people, the activists, all of those concerned around Negril can't
what? I did not get that.
I'm asking you, why is it that you can't solve the water problem with all of the resources you have around Negril? Why is it?
Well, it's a numbers of problem. Negril has grown faster than the National Water Commission to improve the system. The demand for water has increased twofold in about 5 years. Like the demand for it has doubled. And the government has promised to upgrade the system from Martin Bay into Mando Bay and then from Montego Bay into Negril. That is going to take a lot of money. But while they are trying to put the money on this into long term, they're looking at the possibility of fixing all the leaks. And they claim that some of the pipes are calcified. There's a lot of calcium in the pipe, so it reduces the amount of flow. So they're dealing with that. So not only do they have a water supply issue, they have a maintenance challenge. So the people are doing everything in their power by fighting back. A lot of people are buying their own trucks because no longer can be 100% dependent on National Water Commission. Because if you depend on them and you have 100 truckmen with $10 million a day when there is no water in the pipe, then you know we have a serious problem. But the business people are really fighting back, and this one like hit them overnight. It's not like you saw it coming. It just a lot of truckmen just come in the area and just start driving NWC star and according to allegations and mixing up the valves and disrupting the flow. But the business people are becoming extremely vigilant, and it will not be business as usual.
Well, you have had a chance. You have had a chance of audience with the Prime Minister. You have had a chance with the responsible Minister for Water, Matthew Samude, and so on. What's your sense of when something will change significantly for Negril? What's your sense of that? When will something change significantly for Negril and its water problem?
Well, they're looking at bringing some water from Roaring River, which is another 7 million gallons daily. That would come on stream in another 2 years.
Another what?
That will come on stream in another 2-3 years. No, the PNP wins the next election. And he nails the Minister of Water. He believes that the carburetor, which is about 15 down the road, 15 kilometers down the road, that would be the easiest road. But when I speak to Matthew Samude and the PM Minister, they are pulling out all the stops to ensure that Negril gets a regular, reliable water source that would last us way into the future. And they're procuring the money, they're calling contractors, and they're looking at all possibilities. But in the meantime, they're making sure that the leaks are dealt with and that they're taking a lot of trucks so that they can respond to any eventuality. And many trucks are regularized. So yeah,
I forgot to point out.
I get the impression that the government
Lenbert, I forgot to point out. I'm sorry, I forgot to point out to people that you have a chat, a very popular chat group, WhatsApp group called Make Negril Awesome. And in that group, there was some recent excitement after the Prime Minister mentioned the possibility of a change in governance of Little Negril. Now, what would change if you all became a municipality? Why is that so appealing to some people? What's that all about?
You know, we believe that Kingston is Negril's problem. right? Kingston treat like some outside pitney. You know, like them say Pastor Chris and them pitney first and out of mind. We believe that it's time we wean ourselves off Negril, Kingston. We want to be off the back of Kingston. We want Kingston's partner. We want to walk with Kingston hand in hand and be their partner. And we believe that self-determination, we have a lot of brilliant people in town, and there's a whole heap of things that we can accomplish if we have the resources. Having to go to Kingston and wait months upon months, if we have the resources of the government in our hand, like city stats, we get a portion of the tax dollars, motor vehicle, land taxes from exchange and other stuff, and that money is available to us. Then we will be in a better position to respond to these shocks, because we'll be better able to deal with water, garbage, sanitation, and you name it. So we're looking seriously at taking Prime Minister's word seriously. We are going to be having a meeting anytime after the 8th of August, and we have solicited the service of a constitutional lawyer that will prepare all the documentation and just drop it in on the Prime Minister's lap and say, take this to Parliament, vote it. We're ready to assume city status, our parish status, our municipality for this community. Any one of them that works and easily, we're willing to take one.
Well,
So you are saying that a change in the way that you are governed will make a magnificent difference to Negril.
For example, Franklin, let me tell you why Kingston is a serious problem. We have a fire that burns every year in the wetland. You know, 1958, the PDP government drained the wetland to accommodate the highway to Negril. So they drained the wetland, and it turned out to be an environmental disaster. The wetland became too dry, and then you have fire every year in the winter when the place feels like worse. And then oftentimes the fire burns so bad that it chokes off the industry. Anyway, Negril Environmental Protection Trust in corporation wrote a proposal and get $3 million US from the environmental United Nations Environmental Program unit, and that money, like about $3 million US dollars, or $450 million US came to the fire to re-wet the wetland, and the money went to Kingston, and Kingston spent every cent on administration and consultancy, science and research, data collection, and not a dime went to re-wetting and putting fire. And so these are the kind of problem that we are having with Kingston. They treat people like some local country people, and we're tired of that. So I'm not saying that they misappropriate the money, or them name off the money, or them thief the money. But we believe that money came to Negril and it was in the hands of Negril people. Then we know how to re-wet that land. It's not rocket science. We have enough scientists down here. We have hydrologists. We have all kind of human resource down there that could have just remedied that. So that's one of the problems we have with Kingston. Oftentimes, Negril is neglected. And this year again, them spending $5 million to do the same thing over again. And me certain say, because Kingston think we're stupid and we're country people, they will have the money or go spend between consultancy, research, and data collection and administration, and the fire keep burning. So we believe that if we are independent of Kingston, we will be more motivated and we have the resources. We will make the change. We are going to be investing in the development of our people. We're going to be focusing on the development of our community. Because you know, Franklin, 40 years
So before you leave us, Mr. Williams, before you leave us this evening, I would love to know if you could tell our viewers, tell our listeners, what you expect to change in reasonably short time for Negril. What do you expect to change?
Well, in the very shortest order, you see, 40 years ago, most of the tourists that came to Negril stayed on the West End and in the small villas. And then the inclusive proliferation came and it placed a community and brought a lot of hopelessness. But Airbnb is going to spin tourism on its head. Where 2 years ago, all that came to Jamaica was via Airbnb and similar platform. Last year, 36%. 5 years now, Franklin, it will be half of all tourists that come to Jamaica will come via Airbnb and similar platform. We're going to be taking that resources and we're going to be building family. Some government is talking about liberal democracy. My community is going to be focusing on conservative democracy, where we focus on building fathers in home, marriage, church, community strengthening, trade among ourselves, the multiplier effect. And what WhatsApp group Make Negril is beautiful voice. We are more motivated. The sharpest, harder, Franklin. You're going to see some prosperity. You're going to see a revolution for the better, where people can live in this community with all the modern conveniences. Tourists can come here and enjoy, and the repeatership continue to turn up.
All right, sir. Unless Desmond or Mary, I really want to thank you. Thank you for your advocacy there on behalf of people in Negril. I don't think you have told us that you have the solution yet, but I think you are positive because the advocacy is going to mean something.
No, let me tell you what this is, frankly.
Sorry, go ahead.
One time I wrote a proposal to the government because we found out that tourism created 5 parishes in Jamaica. And then the university sent a technician in the field and found out that it was all inclusive. So we say, all right, we did a pilot project and the government sent us some money. So I got some out of it and I started a tour. I got $1 million, Franklin. Listen to me good. And that $1 million brought 120,000 visitors to a single community who have spent almost $1 million over a 12-year period. That is possibly the most powerful multiplier effect in the East Caribbean. And we want to more like that. We want to just show people done. And we use all kind of businesses. We want to understand that when the money come in from tourism, if we are independent, if we are water secured, if we have all kind of stuff, the multiplier effect, people trade among them neighbor with Jesus Christ, you must do it. Love your neighbor as love thyself. Within no time, the amount of prosperity that you will see in this country, the rest of the land will have to emulate it. So the Bible is correct. Wise men are from the West. And we are going to show this government that through the multiplier effect, we can create wealth and prosperity for the masses, and the preprint will be available for other communities to emulate.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I hope that next time we talk, your cause will be advanced some more. I will keep following your Make Negril Awesome group, and the best to you. I don't know if much will change, but we have ventilated the issues very well. Thank you very much, Mr. Williams. Okay, so Desmond, you heard it, and you had a related issue, Desmond, and I want to take you on. You're going to be talking about burial and back to school. So Desmond, floor is yours.
Well, my listeners and viewers might have heard that it is over $1 billion damage to schools. Now, next week is the start of August. So the work must start now to repair schools in time for September, which is a couple of weeks away from us. Now, one of the things I don't trust the government word on this, because last week they called a meeting of principals, and at that meeting, what they were asking principals to do is to spend the money that they have to carry out repairs at the schools. Now, my doubt is the government is not going to spend the money required to repair the schools. It's not going to. Now, one of the things that we must bear in mind, we must anticipate a lot of budgetary adjustments, because agriculture got hit at 5 billion, schools 1 billion, and they announced several programs, as the listeners and viewers might have heard, to cost money. Now, where is the money is going to come from? It must come from allocations, and therefore you can expect a lot of budgetary adjustments. But as it relates to the schools, I don't trust the government word and finding the money to carry out the repairs so that school can be open on time in September. Because education, especially education for the masses, is something that has been neglected in this country. But I am urging the PTAs and the schools, principals, to do whatever they can to effect repairs so that come September, the children can go back to school.
Well, Desmond, you say you don't trust the government on the process, and I don't know on what basis you're operating that you don't trust them. But I was at a meeting last week, just gone, where with several board chairmen and Region 3, and the damage over this side of the world is not so bad. But it was set out very clearly that there were going to be some changes in the procurement procedures, and some places there was action already started, and that the government was concerned and convinced about the need to get the work done right now. So what I'm not clear about is why you are saying that you don't trust them to move the process forward. Don't understand that.
Yes, because of the record of the government in spending money on education. Nobody who has been watching the situation will disagree that resources in education needs to be improved. Not enough resources is being put into education. If you look, the results are there for us.
In other words, Desmond, you don't believe that the government means the education system well. Is that what the foundation of your thinking?
Well, if they mean the country, the educational system well, I think it would be reflected in the system, in the results that we are getting right now. And
we are right up on the time. I really want to apologize for some of the. I mean, we're going to have to reach a point where we also stop apologizing about the internet, the quality of the internet that we have, and so on. But we'll get there. I just want to say before we move off that there's been a lot of talk about the JPS and how they are performing. I think we have got to come around to understanding that the consumer is not at the center of anything right now in Jamaica, no matter how much noise Mr. Vaz makes. But we will come back to that. I want to thank everyone who has joined us live this podcast today. Remember, you can still share the link used for the live. If you have not yet done so, please subscribe. On behalf of the presenters, Mary White, Mary, I don't know what was happening to your system this week, and Desmond Richards, and Technical Director Joshua Black, I'm Franklin McKnight. I'm wishing you all a great week. This week coming also is Emancipation Day, being celebrated on Thursday. And I wish everyone really a great week and a great week of reflection. Until then, I'm Franklin McKnight.